I guess a fairly direct question to start, gents, if I may. What is your problem with running?
Well, the answer to that, Rob, is that we're elderly and
Experienced.
Experienced. Yeah,
Spencer.
yeah, you're quite right. Experienced. And the plan is that this sport is designed for people over 50s, 60s, 70s. There's some 80s teams. Would you believe? Honestly,
Incredible.
There's some over 80s. And so the running aspect of it is a bit of a safety issue. You know, people aren't going to get tripped up.
A little health issue as well, to an extent. Yeah. Do you know what? I'd quite like to see like an 18-year-old walking football. Like, see if they could actually control themselves and running around. You know, because when you're 18, you feel invincible. And for you, gents, did you both start? Bob, did you start playing football when you were like a child, or did it come for you a little later in adult life?
No, I played football at school. I got in the football team for kicking the ball to the headmaster once straight, and I was in the team. And the other reason I was in the team is I was the only one that was stupid enough to head the ball. So that was my way
The
to
qualifications.
football. This is true.
The qualification: straight line kicking, heading a ball. Spencer, anything similar to you for this intro to football?
Intro was probably 7 school football, and then went through the whole thing, semi-pro with Chelmsford City. Had a couple of good years at Chelmsford. And then, veterans football, and that's the beauty of this. I got about 60, 59, 60, and you're thinking, damn, that's my football career finished. But this came along just at the right time. So now till I'm 80, probably 88, 89, I'll be aiming for, hopefully.
So what you're saying here, Spencer, is that if push came to shove, you turn 90, you start the over 90s walking football World Nations Cup.
Oh, trust me, that could happen.
If time allows and everything else like that. But no, it is what we're really keen about doing is highlighting the importance of getting people into sport, whether it be for the first time, introducing them to stuff that maybe they've never tried before, but quite often it's sometimes things that people fall out of through various reasons. They move, work changes, family circumstances. So it's always good to be able to put people back into sport as well. So we will talk more about Chelmsford City themselves, but how does it work? I think just to cover the bases, not assume anything here. Most people probably understand how football works. 11 aside? No?
6.
6 aside.
6 aside, goalie, 5 outfield.
Right. 45-minute halves?
No. We would do league games at what, 20, Bob?
Yeah,
20 each way.
We normally have 50, like this afternoon.
Yeah.
It was 15 minutes break, 15 minutes break. But we have 3 pitches booked that we pay for.
Yeah.
But we find it difficult sometimes to get the right numbers. So we only had 1 pitch, and it ended up being 10-a-side. So we just make the pitch bigger.
Okay.
Just to accommodate.
Kind of adapt.
To give space to people.
But the proper walking football is 6, and pitch is probably 40 metres by 25
So that's
metres.
kind of half a normal full size?
It's probably about a third, is it, Bob? Bob sends drones up, so we get great footage for coaching. Yeah, doing the coaching, and I think 40 by 25. So the beauty of it is it's there's no sort of rest, is there, on these games? That's why we do 10, 15 minutes each way. It's non-stop, in and out possession. The ball's always moving.
Roll on, roll off stops?
Yeah, we do that. It's a bit stricter now. You've got to wait for the game to stop. But basically, yes, you can come on, off. It's, I don't know, it's just an amazing...
Throw-ins, corners?
Kick-ins, corners, pretty negative because everyone's tucked in that corner. It's, on the coaching front, as Bob will know, it's get the ball out, drag the opponents out, go back in. So
actually kind of more probably like basketball in that sense, that you kind of try and keep the ball on the outside, draw the defence away from the goal basket, and then make that attack.
That's it. Yeah. It's very tactically. It's quite an astute game because it's all about ball possession and just waiting for the opportunity. As I say, Bob does a lot of the coaching, the videos and all that business, and we've spent a bit of time, haven't we, sitting down?
Yeah, we've created some training videos because we managed to find a Subbuteo set. So
it's on YouTube.
Shout out to the Subbuteo owners of Essex. It's in the loft still. He didn't throw it away. Don't be daft.
Yeah, but to be fair, Spence didn't really want to use it because it wasn't a West Ham kit. So
You'll get
there was a little
you'll
bit
get
of a
no
gesture.
comment from me on the matter, not
Oh,
having
dear.
any allegiances anywhere in football.
But seriously, we did, first of all, we did some training videos. We did the videos, what to do and how to improve. And then also we had some conversational videos, which were just me asking Spencer, questions.
Yeah.
It could be food, it could be, what's the worst thing you've ever done, or what have you got a particular thing you have to do before a match.
Yeah.
It's a bit of fun as well. So they're all on our YouTube
There's
channel.
a big social side to sport in general, and I think that's one of the things that we'll probably talk about numerous times on the show, is that sport is not just about someone doing something for physical activity and a bit of health reasons. It's actually a big social side to a lot of sports, even those that you might play one-on-one, like in a tennis sort of scenario. And I guess that's kind of part and parcel of what Chelmsford City are trying to do, and on a larger scale, even England, at the international level.
Yeah, for me, Rob, it's on a par with the football. The football's brilliant. We're still playing football at our ages is amazing, but without a shadow of a doubt, it's like being back at school. Honestly, it's the banter, the mucking about.
The look Bob's just given you there
Yeah, I know.
suggests there's a story I probably can't get on the radio, but we'll leave there.
But I think one of the things we do say is that Chelmsford City Walking Football is, we're trying to have the social experience. We're trying to make getting involved as easy as possible.
Yeah.
And for those of people that want to be competitive, we have that aspect as well. So we, have, teams over 50, 60, 65, 70, and possibly in the future,
80.
as you alluded to, 80. We haven't actually got a plan in place for that, but I'm sure we will do in the not too distant future.
The wheels have started. Well, so I'll talk a little bit more about Chelmsford in a moment. I can bring it back there, but I can't not talk about the international scene. Spencer, you're very much involved in this. It's very remiss of me not to mention captain of England, over 60 side.
Over 60s, yeah, that's it.
World champions.
Yeah.
Recently as well.
Yes, last Saturday.
Last Saturday, Saturday before 26th, I think it was, wasn't
That's
it?
it. That's all.
And I noticed one of the things I really wanted to ask, and this is probably the obscure question, but the teams, the countries that were involved surprised me somewhat, because I wondered if walking football was as widely played around the globe as normal football, if I may put in air quotes. It sort of seemed like quite an array of countries involved. Did that sort of thing surprise you?
A little bit, because the England team started 5 years ago. We've been going 5 years, and then teams like we've got Egypt wanted to get in, but it was all a bit too late. As you know, South Korea, Japan, Caribbean put teams in, and it was quite amazing. We anticipated, having played recently, it's Italy, Wales, France. They've been the main ones, but suddenly, this was a huge array of teams. Nigeria came along, Jersey put a team in, and it's incredible, and it just shows how widespread now this is really exponentially. This is just taking off at an incredible rate, and it's fantastic. This is what the World Cup's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you juggle? Because I guess maybe, Bob, this is where you come in helping with the training, certainly at Chelmsford City. But how do you juggle coaching, playing, captaining as well? Is that something you find easy or not?
Yes, to be honest with you, having when I stopped playing semi-pro, I managed. I did Wickham Town a bit, so management is also in my blood. I love managing and coaching. Bob's been incredibly helpful. As I say, he introduced the drone, and as a coach, when you're looking down, you can see that was a fantastic idea, Bob. We'll have to go further on that. So I love it. I just love the involvement and as you said earlier, the friendship. It's something that I think none of us expected in our late 60s. It's just like a breath of fresh air.
The real question is, though, Bob, coach, captain, player, all-round love of football, does he micromanage a bit? Does that happen a little? Does Spencer get a bit too involved and he's maybe reel it in a little bit?
No, I wouldn't say so, because he's got a good personality. He's a nice personality. He'll tell you when you've done things wrong, but he's got a way of telling you without being aggressive. There's some people that will, if you make a mistake, they'll be on you straight away. Well, that's not his style. So that's, a compliment to him. But he tries to think, well, in my mind, he tries to think out, what can I say or what can I do to help that person?
Yeah.
Regardless of their skill level. And that's, that is all about coaching, really.
And that's the key part. And we'll talk a lot with people who participate in sport as well. But I never want to miss the fact that we're going to talk with coaches and with managers and those who are kind of involved in the off field, off pitch, off court side of sport. Though those people that help the game actually build and grow and progress it onwards, I think are really important people as well, because we can play sports all day long, but if we don't have officials, we don't have coaches, we don't have administrators, organised sports don't exist. It's just jumpers for goalposts in that sense of the word, isn't it?
100%. And then the thing about we'll get on to Chelmsford later, I'm sure, but say with the England setup, there are people there who devote so much time to it. The organisation of this was. I've spoken to people. Paul Carr, who runs the WFA, I've spoken to him, and he said the involvement, booking the hotels and it was just amazing. So, without those, as you say, there's no game. Simple as that.
So how does the experience of playing walking football differ from playing, again, air quotes here, normal football at full speed? Is it tactically different much or not?
Bob? No, I don't think so. I think you can apply the tactics that you would in a normal game to walking football. There are certain things you probably change, but fundamentally, we've got a team who are trying to beat the other team and score more goals, fundamentally. And I think we've just got to be aware of people's abilities. And, when you're playing the game, that's what you've got to think about.
So you're not winning based on the fact who's fitter, who can keep running longer. It's more of a, skill level, kind of patience, thought processing as well.
Do you know what? This is all about intelligent play, because there's no running. So all the speed merchants are gone, thank goodness. There's no physical contact. So all the 6'4" centre halves have gone, thank goodness. There's no heading. So this is all about keeping the ball, good movement, good possession, taking your time, building up, go back to the keeper. This is the thing. People hate going back to the keeper, but as a coach, I say, no, we go back, we start again. So it's, slow. Someone makes a good move, bang, that ball's up there, spin, goal. And that's how this works. So it's a clever man's game.
It's taken a long time, really, for, our players, all of our players, to get into their head. They've got to find the space, and there's got to be a gap somewhere. And even, sort of if we go back 2 years, we still weren't going, keeper got the ball, we weren't going to the sides to give something. And if you do that, you widen the game, you widen the pitch, and then you've got the opportunity to put it forward as well as to the sides.
So I need to clarify, I guess, a rule here of the game. It's walking football, you cannot run with the ball. Can you run when you haven't got... So walking at all times?
It's walking at all times, and probably the off-the-ball stuff is the stuff that, I shouldn't say spoils the game, but I think that's the one where... Ideally, I'd have a third official looking for that, because they're the ones you suddenly think, well, hang on, how's he got back?
He got there a bit quick.
How's he got back? And of course, your eyes are on the ball. So it's, there's places you can improve things, but
it's the evolution of sport, though.
It's the evolution, absolutely.
And actually, could just quickly as well, because you mentioned it's sort of a thinking man's game. We're going to women's walking football. Is there a big women's walking football? Scene?
Yes,
it's
Essex, England over 40s. I think they're probably looking for an England over 50s women. Yeah, that's growing. A lot of the club sides have got good women's team. I played in mixed England men's and women's teams for charity events over the years, and some of those lady players, boy, they are quality.
Look at our Lionesses.
I know.
Doing the business in the last few weeks' time as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chelmsford City. Training is a regular thing for you on a weekly basis at the moment. Obviously, the football season itself has already restarted again, and now our teams up and down the county are playing every weekend. But as far as walking football is concerned, when and where is the training happening, and can anyone come along?
Yes, but what we want to do is people to contact us first.
Yep.
And the reason is that we are restricted on the boots that we can wear, shin pads, there's some basic things, but also what we want to make sure that we have people's details, they've registered, to make sure we're covered from an insurance point of view.
Absolutely.
And also for the safety of the individuals, and also to balance out the teams. So we have training sessions at Melbourne Park on 3G pitch on Tuesday morning from 10 o'clock. And then on Thursday, it's midday. And starting, already gone actually, Monday night, we're moving to Melbourne for a 3G in the evening and meeting up at 7:45. And we've been very fortunate through a lot of effort to actually get a pitch, because it's been so difficult to get a 3G pitch anywhere in the Essex area. But we have, and we'll probably hold on to that for many, many years.
Which feels very much like a kind of double-edged sword. It's like, well, obviously you're having to fight for space and places to put training on, but actually it's good that football is thriving at that grassroots level and more people are trying to use space to compete in it. As long as we're all sharing and looking out for each other and allowing a bit of everything to compete, that's kind of the main.
Absolutely. We're all singing from the same hymn sheet. You know, when you start at 7, you can now literally
Wait
your
for
entire
70
life.
years.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we originally wanted to have an evening session because there are a lot of players, ex-vets, who can't play during the day. So that's one of the primary reasons we wanted an evening session.
Yeah.
But also because, you know, if we look at statistically, and I can't do it off the top of my head like our chairman can, we have got. Well, we need this conveyor belt of people coming through.
Absolutely.
So we want the youngsters, the over 50s, to come through
The kids.
all of the teams. Well, I call them the kids or the youngsters.
Do you know
And
how
I
many
always
people
have.
you've just made so happy, Bob, listening to you say the youngsters, the 50s? Oh, I do feel quite Olympic today, actually.
But, you know, looking at them play, and I know that Spencer has, some of them are very fast, although walking, very, very talented, and they obviously played at a very high level through their careers.
I'm just trying to work out how we get Olympic walkers involved in Essex sport, you know, in football, because they're quick, they can walk fast, and they've got the experience to do legitimate walking at a high speed. There's a definite collaboration to be had there.
But the problem about their hips, I mean, when you look at the rolling
They
hip
might be rubbish at
mansion,
football, but they're really good at walking.
I was going to say, there is an important element there. Can they finish, Rob, outside the box? That's the question.
And a very final thing, I guess I'm asking, because I was made to feel older than I am when someone said to me, "Oh, you're near enough old enough to play vets football yourself, Rob." And I nearly said something I can't say on the radio, but. What is the sort of veterans like football age? Is it 40? Is it 50? Where is it roughly?
Generally 40s, I would say. I think there's some teams over 35s, but generally 40. You know, 40s, 50s, and then, as I said,
I've got a couple of years there.
Yeah, there you go, mate. Yeah, I'll put your name down on the list here.
Remind me to come back in touch in 3 or 4 years.
2048, you'll be first on the list. Yeah, so over 40s, and then, as I said, you know, you get to the stage where that's coming to an end, and ta-da!
But it lives
football.
on. It lives on, and I think that's what's key with this. You know, and I know there'll be other sports that will hear this and think, well, hang on, we've got like a veterans or a walking equivalent. You know, there
is a walking rugby. I think there's walking
netball.
netball.
The touch rugby is flag rugby as well, of course.
Yeah,
there's variations to allow people that are getting older or have some disability to get into and continue in sport, which is you know primarily what. People and organisations like ourselves are trying to do. You know, when we sort of started walking football, that's in 2012. So we've been running from there, and we were actually interviewed for the well-known bank advert. However, we oversold ourselves, and I can clearly see, you know, no, we've got a bank account, we've got a website, but you know, and they probably thought, oh well, we won't bother with them then. I mean, and when I look back at it, I think. Why did we just got it so wrong? But anyway,
it's meant to be that you're here tonight and chatting with us on BBC Essex, and that's the main thing. So Monday nights, Melbourne Park. There's Tuesday mornings and Thursdays as well. 10 on Tuesdays, 12 on Thursdays. But you want people to get in touch. So if anyone's interested, from the youngsters upwards, anyone from the youngsters upwards, that's the 50s and upwards. What is the best way of getting in touch, Bob?
All they have to do is do a search for Chelmsford City Walking Football, and they should find it on any social media. It's obviously on the Chelmsford City website, the Chelmsford City Football website. We have our own website, which is ccwfc.co.uk, so Chelmsford City Walking Football. But, you know, if you do a search, that's the easiest way of finding. And the other thing is that, you know, if you're not sure about it, then just look for the YouTube videos. As Spence says, you know, right from the very start, which is probably 2014, I produced videos that went on there, and I still get people complaining. They're running, they're pushing, but things have changed since then. You know, we are in a different timescale. So there's a lot there which illustrate. It gives people a comfort factor on what they're going to see. But if they come along and watch from the sidelines, and then they can see.
That's the best thing. I mean, the thing that I've noticed, certainly you probably have as well, when people come along for the first time and they either watch it the other side of the fence or it's their first little session, after 3 minutes they're normally bent over on their knees going, my God, it's supposed to be walking football. Well, it's walking football, but I'd never expected the level of physicality needed to do it. I don't think anyone's ever come, maybe a handful out of loads and loads, that never come back. Most of them go, my goodness, thank goodness I found this. It's
I think the one thing that
life.
we emphasise, and that's sort of like a standing joke, that when somebody comes along, we tell them, take it easy. Please take it easy. And then
I get the feeling they don't.
Quite often they don't.
They sort of laugh as if they're walking
and
football.
when they've got, I think it's past 20 seconds, we say congratulations, because there have been people that have pulled something, very early
We've
on.
had hamstrings, calves go in the first minute.
Yeah.
But trust me, if we do a great warm up, I mean, it's very professionally done. We're laughing about it. It's professionally done. There's proper warm ups. The organisation is first rate, and I can guarantee you'll absolutely love it if you give it a go.
I mean, we've had success, so obviously that
also helps as well.
We've won the league, and I don't want to jinx it, but I think you're 5 points ahead of the second team, and it's just one.
Leave it there, Bob.
One group of games to go. That's why. But no, I mean they've been pretty successful, which is great.
If you want to do it for a bit of fun, a little bit of fitness, you want to try and get in the the Chelmsford first team, then Essex. There's regional, Southeast England, England. Whatever you want, it's there for you. You can just do however you want to play.
Thank you for putting walking football on the map, but specifically, obviously, Chelmsford City walking football on the show for us. Really proud to have a show where open space where we can highlight the sports that maybe don't quite get sometimes the spotlight they deserve. So lovely to have you both on board. All the best for the next year as well, and I hope we can see it growing and growing together as the years progress as well. And you know what? Maybe in a few years' time, you might see me in an over 50 side, but you have to wait a little bit for that for sure.
He's getting some boots out the drawer. What's happening? Put them back.
Gents, that's absolutely wonderful. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, mate.
That's absolutely wonderful.